What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Wake and Bake News. Shit. Shit. I'm fucking dying. Welcome back to Wake and Bake News. I'm your host, PaperSin, and I'm awake. I'm baked. I'm here to bring you some news. So, do you guys remember David, D4VD? That guy. The guy who went from being a Fortnite streamer and making Fortnite videos to being encouraged to make music because he wanted to make his videos kept getting demonetized by YouTube because he was using copyright music. So his mom encouraged him to make some his own music so he can use that on his Fortnite game, on his Fortnite montages. Great mom, supporting the son, supporting the kid. I love it. I love to see it. Then they started dating a very underage girl. She was like young, super young, under 16, bro. Like I think they met. If I remember correctly, they met when she was like 13. No, 11. But then they started like getting sexual when she was like 13. And then, yeah, I guess she threatened to go. It seems like she threatened to go public with their relationship. Even people pretty much knew, but she was really going to go really public with it. That would have ruined his career because his music was starting to take off. And so, he took her out. Not to McDonald's, not to not to Applebee's, not to your favorite restaurant, not to Chili's. Ooh, Chili's. Triple dipper. He didn't take her out like that. No. He ended her. You feel me? And so that's where we are now. He's been arrested. He's gone to trial. And in case you didn't know, well, according to the YouTube channel Internet Anarchist, we're gonna watch a video titled "David is facing the death penalty." Ooh. So let's get it. Get ready. Get strapped in. Get set. Let's go down this road. Let's go down this path. Let's see what's good. What's great. What's going on? No hate.
The story of David is one that has dominated mainstream headlines for almost a year now. It was almost impossible to not at least hear a little about what had happened, starting out as a horrifying mystery when police found the dismembered body of Celeste Hernandez, and quickly becoming a disturbing case study into the depths
found in the back of a Tesla car that David was renting, that he left behind when he decided to go on tour.
Of human depravity, as more information about the alleged perpetrator, David, came to light. Even if you don't know any details about this case, you have probably heard this general information through cultural osmosis. Many don't know how crazy the story has gotten as it's developed these past months. So today, we're going to be covering the full timeline of the David files, starting from the night of the murder and ending it with what we know in the present day. Quick disclaimer, this is one of the most disturbing topics I've ever covered, so viewer discretion is advised.
I probably should have given you that discretion before going over back what I remember about David. Oh well, guess what? Viewer discretion is advised.
With that being said, hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist, and today we're looking into the David files. On the evening of September 8th, 2025, David was in the middle of performing for a packed crowd while, at the exact same time, police officers in Los Angeles were being called to investigate a foul smell coming from an abandoned Tesla Model X that had been sitting in the heat for days. The vehicle had already been towed to an impound yard after neighbors complained about it being left outside for an unusually long period of time, and by the time officers finally searched it, the smell had become impossible to ignore. When they opened the front trunk, they found plastic bags containing dismembered human remains. The body had decomposed so severely that identification was difficult at first, but investigators were eventually able to determine that the victim was
That shit got clipped on that car, bro. That's fuck. That shit. I can only imagine. I don't even want. Never mind.
A
Ugh.
teenage girl. She stood around 5'2" and weighed only 71 pounds. Considering how little remained and the state the body was found in, the condition shocked even experienced investigators. Before long, police identified the remains as belonging to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl who had been missing for roughly 17 months. Then came the detail that changed the entire case from a disturbing homicide into one of the most infamous internet crime stories in recent memory. The Tesla belonged to indie artist David. At a first glance, David
D4VD.
seemed like the last person anyone would associate with a crime this horrific.
This nigga also made a song about it. In case y'all forgot, isn't it like he obviously he's not saying it's directly connected to her, but this song sounds. It's pretty much what he did to her.
Had no criminal history, came from a financially stable family, and built his reputation online as a quiet former Fortnite player who turned into a bedroom pop artist almost overnight. And here's the detail that really sticks with people. The day Celeste's body was found, David was on stage. While police in LA were pulling bags out of the trunk of his Tesla, he was at a venue in Minneapolis headlining a packed show on the Withered tour. And he wasn't some nervous wreck up there. By every account, he was having the time of his life, hyping up the crowd, even tossing Labubu dolls out into the audience, telling them not to fight over it, and that it wasn't the last thing he was going to throw out. He didn't mention a word of it. He went on and performed again the very next night. From the outside looking in, it looked like business as usual for a rising pop star. No
Bruh, he was so chill about that. He's like, "Yep, I just did that shit." That didn't bother him at all. He's just, all right, next song. Yep. Nah, I didn't. What? Me kill somebody? Nah, I didn't do nothing. I ain't leaving nobody in no trunk. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, this next song goes out to.
Nobody in that crowd had any idea what had been found just 2,000 miles away. But within hours of the discovery, people began digging through years of his music, deleted social media posts, Discord messages, archived live streams, interviews, and music videos. As more information surfaced, a horrifying narrative started forming. It began to look less like David had randomly become connected to a murder investigation, and more like he had spent years openly foreshadowing exactly what he was eventually accused of doing. While Celeste's body was sitting in the trunk of that Tesla, David wasn't hiding. He was on stage. He was in the middle of his first big headline run with the Withered World Tour, named after his debut album, a record he'd described as a goodbye letter to himself. And the staging of that tour is something people really only went back and studied after the fact. Fans walking into the venue were greeted by a coffin. There was a funeral wreath, white roses lining the stage, a portrait of David wrapped up in gauze representing a tormented alter ego he called Itami, and a guest book where the crowd was invited to write letters to the dead. At the time, fans read it as a moody, on-brand horror aesthetic. After September, a lot of people couldn't unsee what it actually looked like. And for a while, officially, nothing happened to him. Police hadn't named a suspect, no charges had been.
Yeah, they found the body. They saw all the shit. And it's like, nah, it can't be him. He's not a suspect. Found in his car, but he's not a suspect. Huh.
Filed, and David was technically still a free man with a career. But the walls started closing in fast. Within days of Celeste being identified, Crocs and Hollister pulled him from a campaign he had been the face of just days earlier. Then, the shows began disappearing. First Seattle, then San Francisco and LA, then the entire European leg. Every date from Norway to Poland was wiped out and replaced with a note blaming unforeseen circumstances. His label suspended promotion of the album, scrapped the deluxe release, and pulled the tour merch. And before long, he'd been quietly dropped altogether. The album
I wonder if the people who slapped some of that merch, like if they got it before it was pulled. Like, do you think some of them are like just playing that shit or trying to sell it for higher prices? Trying to be like, yeah, I got that merch, that David merch from his tour when he got, arrested for homicide. Like, do you think some people are hyping it up? Or do you think some people are just like, ew, get this shit away from me, get rid of it, torch it, burn it, whatever? What do you think?
Rollout, the funeral tour, all of it just stopped, and David
Let me know in the
himself
comments
went
below.
almost completely silent and dropped off the grid. To understand how the situation escalated into murder, investigators and internet sleuths started tracing the timeline all the way back to 2021. In December 2021, he released one of his first songs online, and even from the very beginning, the themes in his music were
Looks like the game. What game is that? I don't know. I just know it's an Asian horror game.
unusually dark and strangely specific. His lyrics revolved around obsession, abandonment, jealousy, emotional dependency, and violence towards romantic partners. The speaker in these songs constantly feared being left behind and reacted to rejection with rage. At first, nobody cared, because dark emotional lyrics are common in alternative music, especially among artists influenced by internet rap and emo scenes. But after Celeste's body was found, people started revisiting these songs with entirely different eyes. Lyrics that once sounded edgy suddenly sounded disturbingly literal. One song included the line, "I think we both know who dies here." Another repeatedly referenced keeping someone from leaving. Others mentioned killing slowly, dying together, and becoming violent over betrayal. Then, there was one specific lyric that stood out above almost anything else. In a song released while Celeste was only 11 years
Here it is.
old, David said, "Save your tears, 7 years." 7 years later, Celeste would have turned
that's not what I was looking
18.
for. Never mind.
Investigators would later allege that David first met Celeste in early 2022 through Fortnite and Discord, when she was still a child and he was already close to adulthood. According to court records, detectives ultimately concluded the two first connected in January of 2022. Around the same time, Celeste's Discord account was reportedly created, which would have made her around 11 years old. As David's music career slowly gained traction online, his
told you he met her when
relationship
he was
with
11.
Celeste
She was 11.
allegedly became deeper and more controlling behind the scenes. Former friends and Discord users later described how David surrounded himself with extremely young fans and frequently interacted with underage girls in private servers. Multiple people who knew him during this period claimed his behavior towards minors was not exactly a secret. One former Fortnite teammate later said everyone in their gaming group knew about Celeste, and that David would casually joke about it whenever people brought her up. One of the biggest turning points in his career came with the release of Romantic Homicide, the song that launched him from being a niche internet artist into
That's the
mainstream
song.
success. The music video showed David standing blindfolded among candles near what appeared to be a dead girl, while imagery throughout the video implied a body being hidden away inside luggage. The video was uploaded on September 7th, Celeste's birthday. At the time, fans viewed all of this as stylized horror aesthetics, but in retrospect, it became one of the most heavily scrutinized parts of the entire case. People started noticing how often David's songs referenced killing women he loved, preserving relationships through death, and becoming enraged whenever a girl wanted independence or tried to leave him. As David became more successful, he also became
This is the music he was writing, and like people weren't catching that that's a red flag. Like what did and also what did David expect like to happen when after he killed this girl? Did he expect to like just go on about his life, his business, and I mean he was performing on stage like nothing happened. He wasn't bothered by anything he had just done. Like would he have just if he had never been found or caught or arrested, would he just be dating another woman and doing the same shit? Would he become like could he have become a serial killer? Maybe like older days, or if the police didn't have the technology they did now.
became more reckless. By 2023, he was openly bringing Celeste into live streams and online content. In some streams, she could be seen in the background while fans asked who she was. Whenever viewers pressed him too hard, David either deflected or became aggressive. At one point, after a live stream involving jokes about age and controversy, David panicked and repeatedly demanded moderators to delete everything immediately, yelling that all VODs needed to disappear.
I don't know why you started talking about that subject.
Where's your immediate
I personally don't.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's
bye.
been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Delete everything. Everything goes.
Meanwhile, outside David's online communities,
Bruh.
Celeste's family was desperately trying to find her. In February 2024, relatives began posting missing person alerts online stating that 13-year-old Celeste had disappeared from Lake Elsinore, California. Her aunt and mother both posted publicly asking for help locating her. Police later discovered that one of the last people Celeste contacted before vanishing was David. When investigators reached out to him, he answered the phone and claimed he barely knew her, insisting he had only met her once and did not realize she was underage. That explanation immediately started falling apart. According to court documents,
Bro, I swear I didn't know. I swear I didn't know she was underage. All right, I swear I didn't know, and I only met her once. I swear, that's it. I promise. I promise, yo. It's like, really? Exit out.
David also showed police a yearbook picture of Celeste during the interaction, something prosecutors later argued directly contradicted his claims about not knowing her age. Detectives reportedly visited his home for a welfare check, but were unable to gather enough evidence at the time to arrest him or remove Celeste from the situation. Only days later, Celeste returned home, but prosecutors now allege David continued almost immediately afterward. Court filings later claimed that after her parents confiscated her phone, David drove to Lake Elsinore and paid another middle school student around $1,000 to secretly provide Celeste with a replacement phone so they could continue communicating. And despite all of this, David's career was exploding at the exact same time.
He must have felt like he was on top of the world, bro. He must have felt like he was on top of the world because his career was taking off. He had this chick that people didn't know about, or he thought people didn't know about, but at the same time, bro, he just chose wrong. Like, why'd you have to go with someone that was underage? You could have just had a chick that was your age. He was what, around 20 something? He could have just had a chick his age. Like, what's going on?
Speaking of legal matters, you may be entitled to a potential recovery of.
And then he wouldn't have to worry about her like coming out to the world about being his girlfriend. He wouldn't have to worry about whatever reason he used to, take her out. So I don't understand.
Over $1,000. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting.
Whoa, hit us with the black suit just out of nowhere.
Addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent history verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for the case. With that being said, let's get right back into the video. By 2025, he had become a global artist with collaborations tied to Fortnite, mainstream television placements, and appearances with some of the largest streamers on the internet. Songs were appearing in major shows, and huge creators were collaborating with him. To most fans, he still looked like a shy, awkward musician who wrote emotional love songs. But beneath the surface, prosecutors say the relationship with Celeste was becoming increasingly volatile and dangerous. Court filings reportedly describe escalating arguments involving jealousy, infidelity, and Celeste becoming increasingly unhappy with the relationship. In one text message cited by prosecutors, Celeste allegedly told David, "All we do is have and hang out. Man, I want more than that for myself."
Yep, she wants you to take her out on dates. She wants you to, bro. I mean, it's fair, but like y'all's relationship was not allowed to be out in public, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's technically his fault for even choosing to go with you in the first place. Like to like he should have just had someone that was his age. Then he would have been just fine.
Investigators interpreted the message as evidence that she had begun resisting the fantasy and control prosecutors claim David had spent years constructing around her. The prosecution argues that tensions escalated dramatically in April 2025 after Celeste allegedly threatened to expose their relationship publicly. According to investigators, this threat arrived at an especially dangerous moment for David because his debut album and major endorsement opportunities were about to launch, meaning public exposure of an illegal relationship with a minor could potentially destroy both his career and financial future overnight. Prosecutors later cited this as evidence of financial motive connected to the murder charge. According to the timeline laid out by investigators, David allegedly sent an Uber to pick up Celeste from her family home on April 23, 2025. Records reportedly show she arrived at his residence around 10:10 p.m. Roughly 20 minutes later, David began sending text messages asking where she was, despite prosecutors alleging she had already arrived. Authorities believe those messages were staged in advance to
Yeah, so this is very premeditated. Holy shit. Damn, dude was like, "Hey, where's Celeste? Oh, yeah, I haven't seen her." She's like standing right in front of him talking about some bullshit or whatever. And boom, he's just sitting there texting it out, trying to set it up. Oh shit, excuse me. Trying to set it up to where like she never got there. He really thought
create a false narrative suggesting Celeste never actually reached the property. From there, investigators claim David stabbed Celeste multiple times, including wounds to the chest and abdomen that later caused fatal blood loss. Authorities further allege that after committing the crime, David drove through Santa Barbara to dispose of evidence.
I wonder if she was thinking that like she was gonna get like they were gonna compromise her to just talk about this telling the public about the relationship type of shit. Like, but I don't think she knew the weight of what she was threatening him with from his perspective, you know? And otherwise she definitely wouldn't have gone, right? I don't know. This nigga just lured her over and said, "Oh, you want to go public about us, huh? Huh?" Lured her over and just
before purchasing supplies used to dismember the body. Those purchases included chainsaws, a shovel, heavy-duty bags, a body bag, and a blue inflatable pool, supposedly intended to contain blood, while dismemberment occurred inside his garage. Ironically, prosecutors argue that the very method David allegedly used to avoid leaving evidence instead created enormous amounts of forensic evidence. According to investigators, using chainsaws caused blood and biological material to spread widely throughout the garage, while also shredding.
he didn't put up. I've seen Dexter, or not Dexter. Whatchamacallit? American Psycho. You'd think he would have put up the plastic around the entire place. I guess he didn't see that movie.
Inflatable pool itself. Small blue plastic fragments consistent with the destroyed pool were reportedly later recovered alongside Celeste's remains. Even worse for the defense, authorities allegedly discovered the damaged pool still sitting at the property months later when police searched the residence after the body was found. The sheer carelessness investigators described throughout the entire alleged cleanup has led many observers to speculate about David's mental state during the crime and aftermath. Prosecutors claim he never properly disposed of the remains, never thoroughly cleaned the garage, never removed crucial forensic evidence, and continued driving the Tesla while the body remained stored inside the vehicle's front trunk alongside air fresheners meant to mask the decomposition odors.
Nigga. Just take it to the dump and leave it or some shit. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You held on to that shit for a minute. For a minute. And like, I don't know, can't you like go rent another car or buy another car or lease another car somewhere from somewhere else? God damn. Don't you have money for that? What's up?
He eventually abandoned the vehicle entirely rather than destroying it. Even more bizarrely, court filings reportedly state that David retained
And just abandon it in the middle of the night. Like people like nobody's gonna find out it belongs to him.
possession of numerous incriminating digital files.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. It was like 50-something terabytes, nigga, not gigabytes. Terabytes. This nigga had like terabytes of CP.
Investigators allegedly recovered explicit images and videos involving Celeste from iCloud storage and other devices, including content prosecutors claim depicts sexual activity when she was only 13 years old. Authorities reportedly seized approximately 40 terabytes of data connected to the
40.
investigation. Whether all of that material exclusively involved Celeste or included other victims has not yet been fully clarified publicly. The autopsy findings only intensified the public horror surrounding the case. Medical examiners reportedly concluded that Celeste died from stab wounds causing catastrophic blood loss. Her remains showed evidence of dismemberment, and 2 fingers were missing entirely. Her left ring
Why?
finger and her pinky.
Why? I guess he just wanted the left ring finger. It's like I could see you taking the left ring finger because this dude was like trying to be like a dark romantic type of person. So I feel like he would take the left ring finger as a sign of them being together, them being married, them being, together forever. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to become a serial killer. He probably would have done that. Probably would have been his MO. You know what I'm saying? Just taking the left ring finger.
Internet users quickly linked that detail to a tattoo bearing David's name on her ring finger, leading prosecutors to suggest he intentionally removed identifying features connected to himself. She also had a matching tattoo.
I thought it was just because he's dark romantic type person. Maybe not.
On her right index finger saying shh, that matches with the one David has. Toxicology results added another layer of disturbing speculation. While many substances tested,
The sure thing could just been like fucking fandom. Like fans would be like, oh, if David has it, I want this.
negative, preliminary screens reportedly turned presumptive positives for MDMA, methamphetamine, and benzodiazepines. Experts cautioned that decomposition can complicate toxicology interpretation significantly, especially because post-mortem fermentation can naturally produce ethanol inside the body. Still, some observers speculated that Celeste may have been drugged before the attack, though no definitive
David Epstein flight list. Damn, bro. All right, hold on. Let me read his chat real quick. His own chat is saying, yes, again, no, but we, something that starts with a C. Lips. Something in lips. Yes, sound. When we getting the clicks song, promise me in Manchester, you put it in Discord. David Epstein flight list. David, can you death dive in Norway, August, September? When you come to Switzerland. Death dive? I'm guessing there's some safety procedures that like are taking place. But why you want me to do it from between August and September, huh? Trying to take those safety features away? Trying to actually
public conclusion has yet confirmed that theory. As prosecutors continued building their case, investigators also began examining the role of people surrounding David. Private investigators publicly suggested he believed someone may have assisted with moving or dismembering the body, arguing that it would have been extremely difficult for one person to handle alone. He also alleged that some individuals close to David may have received money in exchange for silence or cooperation, though those claims remain unproven.
I like that you put a red $100 bill behind that shit. Like blood money, basically.
proven publicly at this stage. Meanwhile,
makes me
additional
think of-
scrutiny fell on David's management team and professional associates after reports emerged that warnings about his relationship with Celeste had allegedly been sent directly to people working around him. According to private investigators, an email warning management that David might be connected to a missing 13-year-old was forwarded internally, rather than immediately reported to law enforcement. Although simply receiving an email does not prove criminal knowledge, critics argue it demonstrates how many opportunities existed for someone to intervene before the situation escalated into murder. There is one last strange footnote to all of this. After the raid, David broke his lease and cleared out of that Hollywood Hills home, the same house where prosecutors say Celeste spent time before she died, and where investigators searched the garage. Crews were photographed hauling everything out, and then, earlier this year, right around the time he was finally arrested, the house quietly went back up for rent. A fully furnished Hollywood Hills home with a private pool around 4,000 square feet.
Bro, I gotta just like make sure I don't buy this on accident, or like, well, this is in Hollywood. Never mind, I've never lived in Hollywood. I'll be all right.
Listed at just under $24,000 a month and marketed as a peaceful luxury escape. Whoever signs that lease next probably has no idea what's alleged to have happened in that garage. Ultimately, this case with David seems pretty cut and dry when all the details are laid out. David had exhibited psychopathic tendencies and a fascination with gore even at a young age, and clearly had issues for his entire life.
He used to be addicted to watching gore videos, and he loves gore.
He somehow got away with allegedly year-old, all while being at the height of his fame. It almost seems that when he allegedly murdered Celeste, he wanted to be caught. As Tony Soprano calls it, he got cowboyitis.
People do that shit, they want to get caught.
Oh, I want to get caught.
Yeah, you want to get caught. I seen it before. That's fucking cowboyitis.
Or wanting to be seen as
Cowboyitis.
tough, or however you want to say it, by
And an intentional lack of regard for danger or negative consequences to strategically help yourself.
other people.
So there's an actual term for it where people are just like, yeah, I'm excited. I don't care if I get caught. Nobody's gonna catch me. Well, man, I thought it was just like big-headedness, but I guess it could just be cowboyitis.
He seemingly left clues like the Riddler throughout his
So it's
music
not just
videos, and
egotistical.
the fact he barely even disposed of the evidence
Bro, yeah, and in that animated fucking music video, he just cut off her arm, so dismemberment.
that he allegedly left
Clues.
behind is proof that not only was he insane, but he was stupid too. David has officially been charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, including lying in wait, murder committed for financial gain, and murder of a witness to an investigation. He was also charged with lewd sex acts with a person under 4 years old, and the mutilation of a human body. Since being charged, he has pleaded not guilty, and is being represented by a Hollywood legal powerhouse, Blair Burke, the same attorney that Harvey Weinstein hired back in 2017. The case isn't over yet, but if I were a betting man, I would guess that he will most likely be spending the rest of his life in jail. He might even be facing the death penalty, although that is a slim chance. At the end of the day, even if prosecutors took a slightly long time to gather all the evidence, it was for a good reason, and they made as airtight of a case as possible to try and ensure that he won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Damn. So he said it's a slim chance that David will be facing the death penalty. A slim chance, but it's still a chance. So it's reason enough to title the video, he's facing the death penalty. You didn't lie technically. I got you. All right. Yeah. Well, that's that. David, he's fucked up. Like, I don't understand, like, okay, so yeah, money just brings out what people are, the depth of what people are. See, if he was never, well, if he was never rich, I'd say he probably wouldn't be able to do some of this shit, right? Or would that just be attached to fame? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, I'm out. Peace. Much love to you.